Good afternoon, YTPC. Welcome back to Emerson Southern Forge. It is a gorgeous afternoon here in South Carolina. It's about 79 degrees and it's perfect. And we're blending today. This is going to be a three-part video because I have three custom blends that I'm working on today with inspiration from folks that watch the channel. The first, so part one is going to be the reblend of the gray blend, which is the worst thing I've ever made in my entire life. Let me tell you the story of the gray blend. It was a wonderful English blend, and I thought it was perfect. And then I added granulated bergamot to it. And it was bad. It was really bad. I called Jason, told him, I can't send this to you. I can't give this to you. This is so horrible. I'm embarrassed that I made it. So Friday night we had a big storm. I think I mentioned it in Saturday's video. And I'm lying in bed. It's about 9 o'clock. So those of you who don't know, if you message me after 9 p.m., I'm probably not answering. You message me at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm probably awake. So just be aware. And I'm laying in bed on Friday night, and the storm had just passed. And I hear a knock at the door, on the bedroom door, which is unusual on its best day. And I opened the door, and there are the two little pucks of the gray blend that I had thrown away. And they looked at me and they said, "Come with us." Oh, I'm not really comfortable. Hold on. So I grabbed my 1911 and I walked with him back to the office. "Why did you summon us?" I didn't really summon you. I didn't know that I was capable of summoning demons using only bergamot extract and a very fine English blend. "Why are we here?" "You're not supposed to be. I don't want you here. I threw you away. You crawled out. You came and knocked on the bedroom door because you're the thickest, densest, most horrible thing I've ever seen. And I've decided that I'm going to take them, both of these little dandies that I made, and I'm going to put them in a shadow box and inscribe on the shadow box, 'In time of the apocalypse, release these,' because that's the only way that they should ever be touched by another human at the end of times." So we're going to reblend today. So let's get back to blending. So for this blend, and we're going to call it Dreich Cruive, which is Scottish for grey cottage. So I thought that was much more appropriate. We'll let the Scots tell me how terribly I mangled that. So Jack Ryan, if you're watching, if Dreich Cruive is not correct, I'm blaming Google Translates regardless. So let's get started. We're going to do this again. And we're going to start off with Latakia. It's an English blend, so we like Latakia in it. And we'll put some Latakia in it. And I have over Latakia'd it. And now I've under Latakia'd it, but not by much. And there we go. All right. So one of the people that saw the last video wanted me to talk a little bit about lemon leaf, and I thought that this was an appropriate video to talk about lemon leaf because lemon leaf goes in this. Because if you're making a blend that has the flavoring for Earl Grey, why wouldn't you put lemon in? A little lemon in the teas tastes wonderful. So they asked me to talk about my feelings on the blend and what I thought about it and what I taste. And it has a very unique, I hate to use the term sweet when you talk about a tobacco, because it's not sweet like saccharin or sweet like sugar. It's a different kind of sweet. It has a very distinctive citrusy smell to it. It makes, especially when pressed and it releases the oil, it really makes the blend special. I put it in Strathaven for Signalman Tony, which is on his way to him as we speak, to see what he thinks of his All Virginia blend. And I really liked the note from it. I thought it was excellent. It had a really great flavor to it. And when I made this blend for Jason the first time, I really thought that this was going to be just the right thing to do. And the tin note before I pressed it, and what ruined it, is the bergamot extract. The powder form of it, and here we are learning again. And you know, I'm generally opposed to learning. It just made it terrible. It just made it cement. It sucked all the flavor out of it. I have no explanation for why it did what it did, other than I shouldn't have fooled with that. All right, so we'll just leave it at that. So we've got stoved red, because I do like how stoved red and the lemon leaf go together. I think they make a very nice pairing. They give it, again, that sweet kind of flavor to it. The Latakia gives it its smokiness. And when you put Latakia in a blend, it's one of the things you use to make a blend cool. So, works for me. We're going to add a little Bosma to it because I do like my light Englishes with a little Oriental in it to give it, you know, just a nuance that you don't get out of English blends without. And how much do we need? And we're there. We don't put a lot of it in. This is, you know, again, we're only making a 4-ounce sample of this, so it doesn't require a lot. But back to the lemon leaf, I just think it is, in my opinion, one of the better Virginias. It has its place. I wouldn't replace, you know, any of the blends that I use a red in. But when I'm looking at doing something different or new, I seem to be grabbing lemon leaf a lot because it does have that much more interesting citrus, again, for lack of a better term, a sweet note that it adds to a blend. And I really like it. And I think that's really plays well in some of the blends that I've been working on. So I kind of like lemon leaf. So we're going to throw a little Perique in. Because it's one of my blends, why wouldn't we use Perique? Right? And I have massively over put in for that. And just a touch more. And we've got the Perique in. That's good. And we'll dry that up. And then the last ingredient in this blend is long cut Virginia. And I like it because it again, it's another reasonably sweet. It has a very interesting tin note that I think will pair very well with the bergamot in it. And that's kind of why I chose all of these, you know, because this is based on making an Earl Grey type of flavored blend, that these were all picked because of my personal palate towards making an English blend that has an Earl Grey feel to it. So that's how we got to this. And again, I'm really happy with the tin note on this. I think it smells fantastic. And I'm going to actually put a little bergamot on it here in just a second once I get this all well blended up. You know, there are some things you make and you think, that's pretty good. And there are some things if you're blending at home, you're going to make it, it's like, I don't like how that smells at all. This is definitely in the, man, I really like the tin note on this. I think it's just spectacular. And I'll tip it up so you can not see it. So again, awesome lighting that I have here in Tiny House Living, and really can't do anything about it, because to get lighting so that it shines on my face and looks forward would mean that I'd have to move my pipe racks, and I'm not moving my pipe racks. There's too much stuff in here. So when we get moved and get settled, life will be good. Okay, so coming up on the 9-minute mark, I have Hawaiian Pharmacy or Hawaiian Farm bergamot extract, and this has a very distinct Earl Grey note, and I'm going to put a couple of drops in it to see what that does to the blend. Not a ton of it. So Jason, when you're watching this, you know, the key for me when doing things that I'm not comfortable with is put less of it in so that it's not like overpowering. And now you can really smell how the bergamot, which is a citrus extract, is pulling out even more of the citrusy flavor that the lemon leaf got us. And I think that we've got this right. And of course, I didn't put enough of it in to turn it into a all-powerful, all-consuming black hole of a puck, which I did on the Grey Blend. So Dreich Cruive is ready to go in the press. Okay, so that's part one. Part two is coming up on the next one, and I'll look very similar because I'll just reset up and film it in a minute. Thank you all for watching. I greatly appreciate your support. As always, if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. If you want to email me directly, it's emersonsouthern@yahoo.com, or you can connect with me on Instagram at Emerson_Southern_forged. I really appreciate it. We're getting dangerously close to 300 subscribers. And I don't know what I'm going to do for that, but that's pretty exciting. So there we go. All right, this is the reblend for Jason, and I hope you like it, and we'll talk to you in a little bit.